Hi guys, I was not going to include this as part of this training because otherwise it's just going to get way too long. So give me some good reviews for adding this particular chapter. That'll let you know almost everything you need to know about the Google Cloud SDK. So first thing first, we are going to use this to work with a Google Cloud account. So we need to know what we're working with. So GCloud config list, this was also in the previous video, but this is your configuration name and these are the configuration components. And when you you can have multiple configuration where you can work with more than one account, more than one project. But how do we switch between these accounts? And the simple command to do that is gcloud configurations, and pretty much every single command that you'll use in Google Cloud has this form: create, delete, describe, list. So in this case, we want to activate a different configuration, which in this case is Killer Joe. And now once we do that, our config is going to be like, these are all the details of that configuration. Now, a third way to create a configuration is create badass Mandy. And once you do this, it's going to create an empty configuration. And in this, you can set a default project, a default region, a default zone, whatever you want by using commands like this. GCloud config set. You can set accessibility, you can set project, you can set zone, and all the good stuff. So it doesn't have a project associated with it right now, but you can set the rest of it up. Okay, now the next command. Well, next to major components that you address, which are GCloud specific, are components, like what's installed as part of this configuration. So GCloud, God, I cannot type today, components, and once again, list. Okay, so all of this stuff, when we first install the Google Cloud SDK, this is what we saw. And the only three things that got installed were the ones at the very bottom. Now, let's say you want to start working with, let's say, what, Kubernetes? It doesn't have it here. Okay, Cloud pops up emulator or App Engine. Let's go with App Engine. So all you need to do is GCloud components install and the ID here. Yeah, you don't need a semicolon. Okay, now another thing about Google that's a little weird, they release their features in 3 steps. So one is alpha. These are like basically features that they just came up with and not really, they are in a good stable situation. Once they have tested a little bit and they're like, okay, we're gonna move them forward, they put them in beta. So once they are in beta, it's basically full-fledged testing going on and you're basically assisting their testing. And once they stay in beta for some time, they move on to the production phase. So now when you install a production phase or like active configuration component, you don't specify alpha or beta. But if you want to install or use alpha or beta feature, you're going to have to specify GCloud components install beta, and then whichever that feature is. And let me look up one so I can show you that as well. All right, that was simple enough. Actually, it's the same all components, and you just add beta and alpha in front of that command, like here. So GCloud components install, we did install App Engine Go. Now, if you want to use the beta commands, which are not available as part of the main release, and you want to use them, which seems like a good idea in general, but you cannot really use it in a production system, neither the alpha neither the beta, so I have never used these. But if you want to play around, this is all you need to do. Yes, and it will do the installation. Now the last thing that we're going to talk about is services. So in Google Cloud, unlike AWS, everything is not ready to go. You have to activate services to be able to work with them. And I will wait until this finishes, and then I will start again. Okay, now that is done, and let's look at GCloud components. List. And now you should be able to see where did the App Engine go? Okay, so now as the App Engine components, basically you see it installed, GCloud beta commands, and the GCloud app extension. The beta commands for something got installed. Anyway, the beta is like not really that important. Like even for the certification associate engineer perspective, you just need to know that can be done. Anyway, so now let's go to GCloud services list. Can be set temporarily by because we changed the config GCloud config list. Yeah, we are on the badass Mandy configuration, so we need to go GCloud config configurations activate. Let's see if it shows the configs that it does. That's pretty neat. Killer Joe. All right, and now we can see the services that are enabled for. Well, these are all the services that are available to this project. Okay, so these are the enabled services in this project, but like right now you can go to Google Cloud Storage and start using it, but if there is a Kubernetes service, like right now you couldn't create a Kubernetes engine. So let me just show that real quick. Once again, I'm gonna pause. All right, here we are, and let's go to compute and Kubernetes engine and clusters. So when we get here, Kubernetes Engine API is being enabled. So like once you click on it, then it starts enabling that API. And until it's enabled, you won't be able to do anything. So you're just going to sit here for like 10 minutes waiting for it to get over. So instead of doing that, you can enable these APIs. And you can try this on your own. I don't want to stop this video until that gets done. So you can enable those services right here. You can see the list of all the services available by using GCloud services list available. And if that ever comes out, so this is all the big list. And when you want to enable a service, you're going to get GCloud services enable. I have no idea what this is, but let's enable it. And once again, this is going to wait for 10 minutes. And once it is done, Oh, nice. Okay. So this got enabled pretty quick. And this is the VM migration Google API. So we need to enable services before we can use them. Oh, and that's the last of it. There is some stuff about service account, but I'm not going to cover it because we haven't covered IAM yet. Once we cover that, we can come and look into those commands. And that's all for this lesson, guys. And as you can see, the Kubernetes Engine API is still being enabled. All right, guys. See you in the next lecture.